And we are back. We are United by Rice, where we talk about all things related to AA, NHPI, and entertainment, creative spaces, and beyond. I'm Junko Goda, one of your hosts.
And I'm Ben Lee. And Junko, today we've got a couple things that I think are super
Yeah.
fun to talk about. One is, do you know what episode this is?
Oh, I guess we're pretty close to a large number.
This is episode 50. I know it's
Hey!
hard to calculate because we've recorded a couple others that we haven't launched yet. So
Right.
technically we're a little bit out of order, but when we post this will be episode 50. And
Awesome.
I think we have a very special guest for this
Yeah.
episode, Jessica Henwick, who's an actress
Yep.
that I think if you don't know the name, you've seen her for sure because she's in and has been in many major franchises. So we'll talk about her
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
and
I
her
guess,
current film, How to
yeah.
Make a Killing.
I was gonna say if it if her name doesn't ring a bell, like for me, Iron Fist, what Netflix's Iron Fist would have been
Yeah, well, we'll jump into that,
perhaps,
but
but
we'll
anyway.
jump into that. I think the other thing I wanted to address with her appearance is, as everyone listens to Junko do the intro for these podcasts, you often do the AANH or ANH. You kind of
Yeah.
sometimes mix things up or struggle a little bit with what exactly it is. And
Well, we
Jessica,
actually I go between like Asian American, but I'm like, well, they're Asian this time and not American, and
yeah.
then yeah,
Yeah. Well, and so let's actually talk about this because we started using, I think, the most colloquial phrase, which is like AAPI. Then we
yeah,
realized, to be more inclusive and follow a lot of what other organizations do. We did AANHPI. Then you realize first, like three of our first four guests were
yeah.
Canadian.
I'm Canadian anyway,
So then you
and
took
they
out one of those first
were.
A's.
Yeah. And then we did interview someone who's a Pacific Islander within the first 10 episodes, I
Yeah,
think.
that was I think T
Yeah.
from Chief of War.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so. So I was like, okay, I was like, well, we got to put that in.
yeah, for sure. So we've covered it, but I think Jessica, people will know she is a Asian actress, but in the UK. So
Mm-hmm.
where are we in the ANHP? I think we still include folks like Jessica because she's looks
Yes.
like us and is dealing with the same stereotypes and issues that we do. And of course, we love her body of work. So just for future guests, if you're ever wondering whether you fit or not, our AA or ANHPI, not super tight. We're willing to flex.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
Her current film is How to Make a Killing, which neither you or I have seen yet, but
Correct.
I've heard pretty good reviews. The director had made the film, a film that I don't know if you saw, but I loved
Mm,
before, which made me think about reaching
mm.
out to the studio. Did you ever see the movie Emily the Criminal with Theo Rossi and Aubrey Plaza?
Did I see that? I don't think I did. I remember being curious about it, but I don't think I ever got around to
Okay.
watching it. Yeah.
It's a real fun film, very indie feeling. Aubrey
Mm-hmm.
Plaza plays, kind of a, very typical story these days, a struggling adult, trying to find work and pay for her,
All
you
right.
know, and kind of falls into very low level crime and
Mm-hmm.
credit card fraud and those type of things and kind of escalates from there. But so I'm
Mm-hmm.
really curious about what this film is apparently about, like inheritance and several family members kind of jockeying for it. So I'm sure it's got
Mm-hmm.
some fun ensemble type of interactions.
Yeah.
The main star, or the I guess the headliner, Glen Powell,
Mm-hmm.
Margaret Qualley. Of course, we've got Jessica. I'm trying to think.
Mm-hmm.
One of her love interests in the film is played by Zach Woods, who
Oh, okay.
uh, I I I like the work he's been in. If
Mm.
anyone doesn't know the face or name, you'll see him and remember
Yeah,
him
which
from
I
Silicon Valley
don't off the top
and
of my head.
later
Okay.
seasons of The Office. He's like tall, skinny.
I'm like, neither shows I have seen.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Well, you live in
Anyway,
Silicon Valley, so not a surprise
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
watch the show Silicon Valley.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm excited to see the film, especially after talking to Jessica. But you started to bring up maybe the role that you most know her for, which was Iron Fist, and she plays
Yeah.
Colleen Wing in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
There's a lot of press back then, and yeah, yeah. There's a lot going on around Iron Fist on a lot of levels back then, right?
yeah, we didn't say it to her, but I think largely that show received quite a bit of criticism because of the casting of
Right, right. Oh,
Danny, right? Daniel
yeah.
Rand, and maybe because of that, people
Mm,
really attached to her as
yeah.
the character,
Right.
as the main, almost the main character, and the
Yeah,
best thing
man.
about the show, and ultimately, I think really wanted to see her become the Iron Fist.
Yeah. I wonder if I don't know, she kind of saved this show, like save the
Well,
show from like imminent death.
I think for those, it's
Yeah,
been a
for those,
while.
yeah.
It's been a while, but remember there were actually two seasons. And I will
Yeah,
tell
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everybody that the first season, I kind of agree with most of
Mm-hmm.
the critics. Second season I thought was actually pretty good. And
Mm,
I think her arc in it was very good. And then she
mm.
then
Right.
joins the Defenders,
Like,
not
yeah.
as a defender, but also one of the main kind of
Mm,
side characters in that. And again, the
yeah.
comic book character she plays is Colleen Wing, or the Wing, I think it's sometimes called in the comics. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then you remember I asked
You would know
you
that.
before, but I asked her during the interview. I always loved like the bow staff work that she does in the show,
Oh, yeah. Right, right, right.
not just from a hey, this is cool action, but it's very elegant, and I think something
Mm.
I've like, oh, I want to learn to do that. So it was fun to talk to her
Yeah,
about that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
are you a Game of Thrones fan? Because apparently she's Nymeria
Oh, yeah,
Sands for Game of Thrones. Do you remember her
yeah.
character?
Yeah, yeah. I remember her family.
Does
Not
she get off?
necessarily.
Does she get off like most people on that show at some point?
What? No, I thought we just were left with like, oh, they are continuing to rule their kingdom. Like
There. Okay.
they're like a side story. I thought. I could be totally wrong though. I mean, because there's so much that happens in Game of Thrones, and it's been a couple years since that part
Okay.
had aired. I think it was probably like must have been at least like two seasons out from the end. So I think if you had been watching, by season 5, 6 of Game of Thrones, you would remember her. Yeah, yeah. So I kind of start with Iron Fist, and then that's kind of how I branch out. Be like,
Sure.
oh yeah, she was in Matrix Reload. Was it Reloaded? Third one?
Whatever is it
Whichever one.
Resurrection?
Resurrection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever the most recent one was.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that's been I really love like TMT, AMC, like the Sundance Channel. Like they're
Mm.
all always like circulating Matrix on high repeat. So I'm like, oh, there she is. And just kind of remembering because I think a lot of people might not even recognize her in Matrix because she's, one of the surviving humans. So
She plays Bugs. I
yeah.
think she's got
Yeah.
bluish hair in the film, maybe
Yeah, and I
short
thought it
blue
was
hair
really
in the film.
yeah, it was short. Yeah, it was super
Yeah, yeah,
short
yeah.
as well. So,
Well,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
But yeah, she's had a fun
I'm
career.
gonna give you some of her other credits because
Hmm.
I also, like you, I think most noticed her as Colleen Wing, but she was a pilot in The Force Awakens, the first out of the
Oh,
new
yeah, yeah,
trilogy. She gets a couple lines and minimal screen time in one of the
yeah.
battles as a pilot, but she doesn't die. So you never
Hmm.
know, like, could she come back in that franchise someday? She didn't come
Right.
back in any of the other movies. I think she was a voice actor in the Blade Runner animated series.
Oh, the animated.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, as we already talked about Marvel,
Hmm.
she has starred with people like Kristen Stewart in Underwater.
Right, right.
Um, and then
Underwater. Oh, there was that
Yeah,
movie called
right.
Underwater.
And then in more
Right.
recent years, it just give you some titles: The Gray Man,
Yeah.
with Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, Glass Onion, so the Knives Out number
Yeah,
two.
The Knives Out. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
She
that's right.
played Peg.
Yeah.
She was actually in this kind of psychological thriller called The Royal Hotel a couple years ago with
Hmm.
the girl with curly hair, Julie Garner from
Oh.
Ozark.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Small film, but it's actually, I think,
Yeah.
very worth watching.
But yeah,
I
she's been
think it,
steadily
yeah,
working
I think tell
for
I've
years. Yeah.
been a fan. I mean, more than working, I think she's quite big and doing
Go.
well.
I
Um,
don't know. We're all like, you're working great.
I know you always have you put all actors on the
Hey.
same level, which is great because you're an actress yourself, whereas I always kind of like have a different level of
Well,
like
I think,
fandom.
yeah, but I think with entertainment, and this has been a large kind of a theme in my life at large, but everything's cyclical, right? Nothing is ever gonna be at be at this level. It does have to eventually come down. So I think, you just have just working steadily is great. But like something in your 70s, you start slowing down in your 70s, or
Well, of
you're not
course,
getting
yeah,
involved,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
Well,
but
okay,
at
so
least
to that
she has
end,
a hopefully has a retirement and stuff. But if what's her face, like Jane Lynch, because she got big much later in her career,
sure,
right? So
sure.
it's interesting, like, okay, like steady work, and when
Well,
it hits. But yeah,
Jessica's
been
Jessica's way
working
too young
steadily.
to
So
talk about compare her with Jane Lynch, but she does have some
but
fun
just
upcoming work.
but just like the timing of how things
Sure,
happen. Yeah.
yeah, that's not too different than any profession, though.
Anyone, exactly, exactly. So just kind of grounding the profession.
Um, I like to give people their flowers, I think, a little bit more than you do. She's going to be in season three of Silo. So you mentioned you're a big Silo
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm a big Silo fan.
I'm going to be honest. I did not watch the last episode of the last season. I was
Mm.
watching Silo probably. I probably got to like episode 4 or 5, and then got stuck there because I realized I wasn't paying enough attention. I need to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, yeah. Because
What?
season two, a lot happened, especially towards the end of the second season. So there's a lot of information and a lot of reveals about the world going on. So yeah, you definitely
Okay.
have to go back and finish up season
Because
two.
all I really have gotten to is like she's in a different silo
Yeah.
with a crazy man, and that's kind of all I've seen so far.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's the big reveal, like
okay.
snowball. Yeah, yeah. Every
Well,
episode, you end up learning something else, kind of part of the world building, but like, how do they get there,
yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, for Silo fans, I think what was cool that she revealed to us was that
Oh yeah,
she essentially took the role because of what happens later in season 4, not even this next season. So I think
yeah,
she's
yeah,
very
yeah,
excited about the arc of the overall story and, of course, her character, Helen.
yeah, yeah. And that's like the
Yeah.
nice thing about the streaming era. Like storytelling is kind of, you know, is a lot more malleable. It doesn't have to be in your regular prime time, whatever, 45 to 42-minute episode.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Makes it
Well,
more fun.
I think Jessica is a very good, if not great, guest for us for episode number 50. Not only because of her stature, but also she was actually a very fun interview and as nice as
Oh, yeah,
could
it's
be.
just great
So,
sport.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, you said there's coming up this week is Unforgettable, the Unforgettable Gala?
Correct. Ironically, Jessica is on the
Yeah.
selection committee, I noticed, for Unforgettable.
Ah.
Although I don't know that she'll be there.
Mm.
Yeah, so Unforgettable Awards, I'm not sure how much we talked about it in the past, but it's an annual awards. I think it's maybe just sometimes known as the Unforgettable Gala. Um,
Yeah.
honestly,
Mm.
I still can't piece together who does what in terms of throwing this event, but I know the main
Ah.
companies are Character Media
Yeah.
and Golden TV, who's going to stream it on the 13th, 1 week
Mm,
following. We're actually going to talk to the CEO of um, Golden TV in a week or so, and we'll probably post that interview right after the event. So we'll be able to give a little bit of a
mm,
retrospective of how the event went. But I actually went to this event last year. Um, and it is, I know we also recently talked to the Critics' Choice
mm,
Awards director, or the luncheon for Asian film and television. These events have some similarities in that they are, I don't want to say made up, but they're like created galas to celebrate Asian achievements, given that oftentimes these achievements aren't recognized within
mhm.
the larger award
Yeah.
season. And so I think it's a very admirable and wonderful thing that they do. And um, you just, every time I've been to one of these type of things, you just feel like you're in community, right? And I do
Mm.
think. I think this is going to be their 23rd or 24th. It's like the longest running Asian gala.
Probably. Sounds about
It's
right.
My
Yeah.
understanding is it started mostly from a group of Korean
Mhm.
American
Yeah,
entertainers.
it was the I think it was Corey M. It was Corey M
Mm,
magazine. It was Corey M who first established, yeah, the gala, and
yeah,
then at one point it changed into Unforgettable. Yeah,
yeah,
it definitely comes from the publishing
sure,
world kind of started it. I
yeah,
do remember that.
it's
Yeah.
gotten bigger and bigger, and I'm sure our friends Michelle Sugihara from
Hmm.
Cape
Okay.
and Gold
Mhm.
House, I'm sure they're somehow involved, right, as partners or
Yeah.
sponsors,
Yeah.
right? So. But it'll be a cool event. I'm going to be there Saturday, hopefully capturing some
Oh.
interviews on the red carpet and,
Hmm.
you know, test my editing skills, but maybe we'll put some
Yeah.
in the podcast and certainly on social.
Hmm.
Since we're going to do a whole episode on it, I won't go through all the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
honorees,
The
but you
details.
know that
Mhm.
our one of our favorite guests, T from Chief of
Yes.
War,
Yeah.
is one of the honorees, so that'll be a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. 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 So, I'm like looking forward to that.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, I'm going Junko. I think these are the kind of things I like to go to.
Oh
Junko, I
yeah.
feel like Junko's got to get paid to go to these things.
Yeah, I'm kind of like neutral. Actually, I am catching a documentary on that night
Mm,
show. A documentary on a local band here called Quetzal. Um, or I don't know, maybe they're no worldwide. I have no idea. But yeah, so it's kind of this like
you didn't say
Japan, East
cat's eye,
LA.
right? You didn't say
No, not
cat's eye.
Quetzal,
Okay.
Quetzal. Yeah, yeah. It's just this.
Okay.
It's a dark. I haven't. So I didn't like read the log line yet, but it's
Okay.
yeah, it's a East LA band and their travels and stuff. So I'm like, so I'll be
Okay.
doing that and supporting my friend instead. So I am still doing something filmmaking related.
Fantastic. Well, I trying to think if anything else is going
Yeah,
on this week, but it
sounds
is
like a
it
lot though.
is
Like that's a lot to cover. So
it's a lot to cover, and then the Oscars are the week after. So,
yeah, yeah,
busy.
yeah.
Maybe not as busy in the AAPI world
Oh, and
because there aren't
just
that many
to
nominees, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's true. But just to warn you, if you're getting around town on Sunday in LA, it's the LA Marathon. So between Dodger Stadium to Century City, like early in the morning, is all kind of
Are you talking
trafficy.
about
So
this weekend, the
this Sunday, yeah,
Oh God, I'm glad you told me because I'm sure that is my getaway
yeah,
day. So
yeah. And of course, I'm sure this episode might go up
right
before
now, it's
Sunday.
going up right now. This
Oh,
is
it is
going to be
right
the
now. Okay.
fastest edit. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a heads up on it. It is the LA Marathon on Sunday. Good
Okay.
thing I
Good
told
to
you.
know. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck to anybody running in it. I will not be.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
thank you for
Thanks. Yeah.
listening. We've been United by Rice. We're very excited for episode number 50.
Five
We don't
zero.
we don't really talk a lot about these kind of milestones. I don't know, maybe quick question. Is there a favorite moment, favorite guest at this point? I hate to
Oh
ask a question like
God.
that and put shade on any of our other guests,
Well,
but
it, that. Well, I guess I might throw it out to T.
Mm,
Just like had like a great vibe. So when she was in town, we met up for lunch, and she met my
yeah,
dogs, and
yeah,
yeah. So that was nice, like really meeting someone we've interviewed in real life who I didn't know before.
yeah.
So shout out to T, and congrats on everything with Chief of War.
Yeah, that's great. I'd
No,
say
you are.
reflecting on 50 episodes, first of all, it's been less than a year.
Yeah,
I think when I
March. Yeah.
originally thought that we would do this, I was thinking, okay, if we're lucky, we can do an episode every 2 weeks, might be
Mm-hmm.
monthly. And I think we've generally proven the concept, right?
I think so.
That we, number one, can find interesting guests, number two, that we enjoy talking to them, and number three, that people want to come on. And
Yeah,
maybe the
and
next step for us is
well,
like,
number four is that we can churn them out and publish them
yes,
on the
yeah,
back end. We have to work on these.
yeah, okay. And then maybe goals for 2026 will be now starting to think about distribution and some
I
even
guess,
greater
yeah.
reach and sponsorship and all that to
Yeah.
make this thing more sustainable. But we've
Yeah.
been unselfish in that. We've just done
Oh,
this
actually,
because, yeah.
yeah. Speaking of, didn't we encounter these at Laugh? Was it the Comedy Fest? These were
Belly
I
laughs.
mean, at Belly Laughs. Wasn't this the brand with the anti-Asian glow that was
The
in the green
packaging
room?
the
Kind of
packaging looks
looks,
different, but we only got like
yeah.
one. We only got
It
like
was like a
single use
sample thing.
samples. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. But anyway, but they were. I was like, hey, maybe these people will sponsor us. So
We're
under
giving what are they? We're giving Ondo free
Ando,
sponsorship right
free
now.
sponsorship just because just literally came in the mail and it was right here, and we're like, hey, this is helpful because I think our viewership and listenership is
Would
over
benefit.
the age
I
of
would
21
benefit.
and Asian.
Ha- Have you tried?
So
Have you tried these? Do they
no, I
work?
haven't yet. I haven't yet. I'm
Ah,
excited. So I have a bunch of girlfriends coming in over the weekend. We all Asian.
yeah.
So I might ask if anyone is interested. So
You should
Ando, we just gave
do.
you free ad space. Ando,
You should do it. You should do a test though. Like have everyone open up a bottle of
I
wine, have everybody have one, and see if it
know.
works. Because
Yeah.
I do. I'm sure a lot of Asians. I do the Pepsid AC thing,
I did. I used to do. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But I
But
can't imagine like taking Pepsid AC all the time is great for me. Nor can I. Nor does it
yeah.
work all the time. So if
Oh,
there's
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah. It's
more
inconsistent.
natural supplement gummy thing, I would love to try it. Let me know.
Yeah, and it
Let us
wasn't that
all know.
expensive. Yeah, 30
Okay.
gummies. I let you
Excellent.
know. So there you go.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay. Thanks,
Well,
Ben.
sure. Episode 50, still brought to you by nobody, but Ondo could be a sponsor someday.
Maybe.
We've been United by Rice. You can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube and Instagram, United by Rice podcast to stay updated with our latest and greatest. Good to see you, Junko, and take care, everybody.
Steven.
Here is Jessica Henwick.
And we're back. We are here with Jessica Henwick, and we are going to be talking about her latest movie, How to Make a Killing, which I actually don't know which platform it's on, or it'll be in
It's in
theaters. But
theaters,
it's in
yes.
theaters. Yes. But then, Ben, when we were pre-talking about the show, you threw in Silo, which is one of my favorite shows. So that kind of threw me for a spin. But I'm sure we'll be talking about all those
We'll
things.
talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's start with How to Make a Killing. So, first of all, Jess, congratulations. Like A24, I know that a lot of actors have been trying to get on A24 films these days. Would love to hear. I know the film's been out a week. I would love to hear kind of what you're hearing about audience reaction so far, both to the film and your character.
Yeah, the reaction to my character has been really, really nice. I feel like a lot of people relate to her. It may be because she is the most relatable character. Everyone else is either crazy or a billionaire. Whereas Ruth is just a really normal woman. But I do think that she is speaking to a movement that a lot of people can relate to right now. There's a line that Ruth has in the film, which most people are talking to me about, where she says, "No one teaches us how to dream small." And I think that that really reflects something that I'm going through as well, which is the sort of rejection of hustle culture and
Mm.
Mm.
just leaning into slow living and really questioning the sort of materialism that we're surrounded by all the time. Um, Ruth is, yeah, she's going through transition where she wants to get back to basics and figure out what actually makes her happy. What does she actually want, not what she's been told to want.
Mm.
And I know the film is kind of based off of a film from like the 1940s, which is also loosely based on a film from like the early 1900s. Had you familiarized yourself with any of that original source material, or was your character more or less a fresh creation for this film?
No, no, Ruth is in Kind Hearts and Coronets,
Mm.
but she's uh, look, that it's a brilliant film, but it's definitely aged. If you watch it, you can really appreciate
Mm.
sort of Alec Guinness playing so many different characters. That's amazing, but the female characters in that film suck. Um,
Hmm.
she's very sort of fragile, and she's just of that time. What John, our director, did, which I was such a big fan of, was try and modernize and empower both of those women so that it genuinely feels like we don't really know who Beckett should end up with. um I mean, I know who I think he should end up with, but
Mm.
I also don't know if he's deserving of that woman.
Mm.
You play the wife of such an interesting character in the film. I'd love to kind of know a little bit more about how you build chemistry typically in any kind of project, but particularly in this film. Was there much, were there chemistry reads even prior to casting, anything like that?
No, no, there were no. I actually didn't audition for the film. I just had
Mm.
a meeting with John, like a Zoom call, and we didn't even talk about the film.
Mm.
But I have two romantic partners in this. The first is Zach Woods, who is a phenomenal
He's
actor and
so good in
comedian.
this, and he's so funny in this film.
He's so funny. He's so brilliant.
Yeah.
So he did all the heavy lifting, and the
Mm.
the thing is, we weren't really meant to have that much chemistry. It was meant to be one of those relationships where you kind of go, this is on its way out. It's, it's dead. The relationship is dead. But
Hmm.
Zach and I actually really got along. His dad is a therapist, and I was just about to start my therapy journey, and so we
Mm.
really we really bonded very deeply
Mm.
in the space of the 2 weeks that he was filming with us. Glen and I were familiar with each other's work, and we had sort of been following each other online for a while, but we'd never
Mm.
really met or spoken. And then I got to South Africa, and they put me up in this beautiful apartment, and the sun is shining, and I had just come from grey, rainy England. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go out on my balcony and sunbathe.
Mm.
And I looked out on the balcony. I thought, there's only of all this entire building, there's only one apartment which has a view onto my balcony. I'll probably be fine. So I got naked, and I sunbathed for I got some vitamin D, and then I got a text from the costume designer, and she was like, "I'm in Glen's apartment.
And when you could see you.
We can see everything." And I was like, what do you mean everything? And she went, everything. And it kind of ripped the Band-Aid off, Glenn
It
and I
does,
were
yeah.
forced to get to know each
You
other
know,
very quickly after that. And
that
he's wonderful, and we got along
that
so well.
is the most interesting answer I've ever gotten to the chemistry question. I love
Yeah. And I'm like,
it.
can you
New
can
new
you
advice for young
yeah.
actresses out there.
I was like, can you reenact the first 3 seconds of physically meeting each other?
No, he was a gentleman. He never actually
Oh,
brought it up, and I've never asked him if he saw anything. Like,
Mm.
neither of us ever discussed it, but I just got that sense, like, okay, so you've seen me naked now.
Yeah. You mentioned John earlier. Had you worked with him before? And certainly, I imagine, were you a fan of like Emily the Criminal and other projects of his?
I loved Emily the Criminal. I have watched Aubrey's work for a really long time, and I think it's the best I've seen her. And I remember thinking, who
Hmm.
is this guy, this new director that has managed to bring out the side to her that we so rarely get to see? Uh, and on such a shoestring budget. Like, he really made it feel so immersive and wonderful, and that film just came alive. I had not met him. No, they sent me the script and we had our Zoom call, and then we just bonded about life and talked about our favorite films and what kind of school we went to, and growing up playing. He plays guitar and I grew up playing piano, so we bonded over that, and we're still friends to this day. He's wonderful.
You know, you said you didn't have to audition. Did he reference a role that you had played that he saw you in and said, "Hey, that's
Well,
why I
so
want you in this"?
no, the funny thing was the plan was to have this Zoom, and then the plan was to then chemistry read with Glen, and a bunch of
Ah,
actors were in a chemistry read. And I guess my behavior in the Zoom just won him over, because
ah.
I basically was like, I don't know if I want to do your film, dude. And something about that connected with Ruth in a way, and he went, oh, that's the exact energy I need you to bring to this character, where she's just
That's so
kind of,
funny.
yeah, she doesn't need it. She's kind of cracked the code, you know. Ruth has figured out what makes her happy. We're finding her after she's done the heavy lifting, she's done the work, and that's a very specific energy, and I guess John felt that I inhabited some of that. So no, we had the Zoom call, and then I got the offer pretty quickly after that.
Mm.
I don't even know
Well,
if he's seen any of my work. I know he saw Bus Girl, the film I directed. I don't know if he's actually seen any of my acting.
and then I was gonna ask if, like, maybe Knives Out, like that type of ensemble film might have been a
Maybe, but
spark or
those
something like that.
Peg feels so different for me
Yeah.
to Ruth, so I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I have a personal favorite. It sounds like Junko's a big Silo fan, which I didn't know. So we can maybe like pivot into that. Like, have
Definitely.
you already completed film? And my understanding is you play a bigger role in season 3 of Silo. Are you able to share anything yet?
Um, yeah, so we're introduced to Helen at the end of season 2 in the bar, which was
Hmm.
so much fun as a fan of the show. Like, the way I ended up on that show is I watched season 1 and I
Mm,
wrote an email
mm,
to my agent to pass on to Graham, just to say, love the show, big fan.
mm.
I wasn't angling for a role in any way. I just wanted him to know that, because it came out of nowhere. There was no marketing. I'd heard nothing
Right.
about it. I watched it and I went, what is this? The world building is beautiful. Like, I loved it. And Rebecca is so incredible. Uh, and I got a response back saying, thanks. And then almost a year later, I got a message saying, hey, actually, there's a role. Do you want to talk about it?
Mm,
And I was actually quite resistant, because I wasn't sure that I wanted to go back to TV. You know, I've been working in films for a couple years now, and I've been really enjoying that kind of schedule. And I know that TV is hard work. It's really hard work. But I had a call with Graham, and he pitched me the entire arc of the show. The show ends in season 4. And so he
mhm,
said, this is where your character will start, and this is every scene that happens till the end. And so there is an episode in season 4, which I'm filming now.
mm.
We wrap the show in 2 weeks. But there's an episode in season 4 which is so incredible. That's why I signed on. I did all of season 2.
Wow.
I did all of season 3 and the bid in season 2 just to get to this episode I'm doing right now, because it is the most I've ever been challenged. It's uh
Oh, that's
I
amazing. What a teaser. God, to your point, like Apple does so little marketing some of their shows, and so
mm.
that's a great teaser. Well, speaking of TV, of course, one of my favorite roles that you've been in, I've got to ask this question. How close were we ever to seeing you as Iron Fist?
Uh, I mean, we got that last scene, the very final sort of epilogue scene
Yeah,
to
where
Iron
you got some
Fist.
glow.
I have
Yes.
a little bit of power there. Um, what can I say?
Is the topic not dead? It's not.
I
Well,
mean,
that's actually in the question, right? Could it ever be
Well, I
revisited, I
guess I
guess.
guess in that world it never is, right? If
Yeah.
it's not in the lore, if it's not written, it's always a possibility.
I'm so tentative about answering this stuff, because it always goes viral. Anything I say about
Oh
that
yeah,
always
yeah.
becomes like the leading quote of the interview.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Look,
Although
I have to
that
say
made me
this.
yeah.
I love playing Colleen.
Mm,
She is one of my favorite characters that I've ever played. And the connection that the audience had with her, like, really deeply touches me. And I've not
mm,
had that in any other role that I've had, that,
mm.
Mm.
that people have felt such an affinity and a love for her. I would love to bring her back. Um, it's like we've talked about it. Obviously, there's been a lot of press about it recently. Uh,
Oh my god.
I don't know where it goes, but I can say that I'm not in Daredevil season 2.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
in it. Everyone needs to stop asking me. Basically, I went to go visit set and someone saw
yeah.
me, and I hung out for like a week with Charlie, and that became a whole thing that people were like, well, she must be filming a cameo. I'm not filming a cameo. I'm not in
Mm.
season 2. I literally just happened to be in New York at the same time.
Junko, I'm not sure how
Yeah.
much of the Marvel TV lore you know, so if I fill the gaps for you,
Yeah, but
she
it's all
played
standard.
Colleen Wing in Iron Fist and then was in Defenders, which
Oh,
like united all of the Netflix Marvel characters like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron
right.
Fist, and Luke Cage. That's all of them. And then Sigourney Weaver
Oh, yeah, yeah,
happened to be
yeah.
in Defenders as well. But I think in as time has gone by, obviously everybody loves Charlie Cox and Daredevil, but I almost would say like Colleen Wing's character and
Mm,
Jessica's performance is like what fans keep talking about. It's like she was the highlight of Defenders. She was the highlight of Iron Fist.
mm.
So,
That's very
and
sweet. Thank you.
I've actually asked Junko this question, and she didn't know what I was talking about. I told her, Junko, in my old age, I don't know that I could physically do this, but the stick movements that you do in Iron Fist, is there a name to that type of martial art?
Holly, did you guys?
It's the bow stuff. She's working with the bow stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys have both.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which is, yeah, it's really fun, honestly. There's something that like tickles my brain in just the right way about working with the bow stuff. I don't know. It's like if definitely
Yeah.
worth a try.
Yeah, it's
Is
because
it?
it's funky because you can use both sides and your brain needs to wrap because we're kind of used to like swords, which is only like, you can only use it one way. And then
Mhm.
Yeah.
like like guns, you can only use one way. But when it comes to a bow staff, I do Aikido. That's yeah, it kind of
Oh,
like
okay. No,
it
yeah. It's
it
fun.
it fucks with your brain a little bit because you're like, I could use both sides. You're like, okay. I remember the transition going from like sword to bow staff, and you're like, oh, okay.
There's an elegance to it though, right? It's very beautiful. It's almost like a dance that you do sometimes. If I wanted to learn how to do that, like, is there a name of a class that I go take somewhere?
Oh.
Or I'm sure you had like personal trainers for that and choreographers for
I
that,
always
but
had
yeah.
some trainers. I really lucked out on that. But I mean,
Mm.
there are a few different martial arts that incorporate staff, but you can't. It's not. I don't know anyone who goes just to that class. Usually, you have to start that martial art, and
Mm.
then
Mm,
you have to be doing it for several years and go through the belting system before they'll let you start using weapons. Uh,
hmm
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know
it's pretty
how you would
standard. Yeah.
find bow stuff on its own.
Yeah. I think actually a common entry point I feel that a lot of stunt people use is like the Filipino fighting sticks. They're just like, here. And they just hand it to you.
mm,
They
Interesting.
usually start with a pattern so your brain, develops the reflexes and stuff, but that's
mm,
what a couple of my
But
like
something
stunt
about
friends
those
use.
there's something about the pattern aspect of it really,
Mm.
maybe because I have a tiny
Mm.
little bit of OCD, something about that
Mm.
mm,
really just scratches an itch for me.
Mm,
mm,
yeah. It's very comforting. It's very comforting to be living in a pattern or a kata
Mm,
that yeah,
mm.
because you can perfect you live in that little world of the kata and you can perfect it within that world. For
mm.
your
I
OCD
know.
brain.
It's great. I mean, I don't know how much of it I would be able to translate into a real fight, but I did love it. It's like a dance. I would say it is similar to a dance.
Yeah. Hey, can I pop in a quick actor question?
Mm.
Since you've since you've shot in so many places, do you have a certain ritual or something because you're in South Africa or you're back home in UK or you're in New York? How do you set your environment for work? Like, do you have a little kit that's like, I'm on the road kit, and I have a little, I don't know, like an altar. I don't know.
I used to have a tiny briefcase this big,
Hmm.
and inside it was, a little origami a little bit of
Yeah, yeah,
origami from home,
yeah.
like, my family zodiac. I would have all these tiny little
Mm.
trinkets, and I would have several photos, and then I would have, like, a dice or a die. Um,
Mhm.
is that correct? Is it die is multiple
Both.
and
It's
dice is
both.
Die.
singular?
Yeah, I
It's
think it's
both.
die.
It is different
I think
between the
I.
UK and the US, though.
Oh,
Oh,
it
Yeah,
is?
interesting.
but
Okay.
Okay.
I've heard
Yeah.
both, though.
Yeah, I used to have these, and then I would have, do you know
Huh.
what Smiskies are?
No.
No.
What is
Smiskies
that?
are small plastic figurines that glow in the dark, and because I spend so
Oh.
much time in hotels, I would always
Yeah.
stub my toe at night going to pee,
Oh.
so I would put the Smiskies on the edges of the door
Oh.
Oh.
frames so that when I get up in the night in the
Ooh.
hotel, I just know
Yeah.
to walk towards the glow in the dark Smiskies, and they will lead me to the bathroom without stubbing my toe.
Without,
Are
yeah.
those
Oh,
like
brilliant.
green? Are those green bald guys like that come
Yes.
out of like? Oh
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I know what you're
They're
talking about. Yeah, yeah.
adorable, I'm obsessed, I have about 30. Um So I used to travel with the suitcase with this little,
Oh,
briefcase, and
yeah.
then I forgot the code, and so they're all locked inside the briefcase.
Oh, no.
So at the moment, no, I don't have, like, a go kit, but,
Yeah.
um, but I have, I've now got into a good rhythm of, like,
Yeah.
I'll get a candle, and I'll usually bring a blanket,
Mhm.
something to throw on the couch or the
Yeah.
sofa. That's
Uh,
kind of it. Uh,
Mhm.
I think that what gets me into my zone more efficiently is getting into a routine. So
Mm.
and as soon as I find a new place, I'll find out where's the nearest Asian
Yeah, what's
restaurant,
yeah.
where's the nearest Asian supermarket,
Uh-huh.
where's the gym,
Gym, yeah.
does it have a sauna?
Ah.
I'll figure out like the sort of core things that I require,
Yeah, yeah.
and where's the nearest bubble tea.
Yeah. Ah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then I feel calm and steady.
mm.
Okay. Was there
You
boba
know.
tea in South Africa?
You know what? There was, and
Mm.
it was good, and it
Uh,
wasn't good, so I was very
we
unhappy.
haven't had more
Yeah.
we need to send more Taiwanese people over there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, there's a lot of, South Africa just doesn't have a huge, or especially Cape Town doesn't have a huge Asian community, so it's a lot of
at all.
fusion
Yeah.
places. So you'll go to a place and it'll say it's Vietnamese and it'll do bubble tea and sushi,
Sure.
and it's just kind of those,
All in one.
pan-Asian fusion places.
It's like the
Yeah.
Midwest U.S. Junko.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they donut shop Chinese food and
Yeah.
pizza all together,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, yep. I grew
Uh,
up in the Midwest, so I know that very well.
Where
when
in
you're
the
in Cape,
I grew up outside of Chicago.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Chicago.
Ah,
mm,
yeah. I haven't been back in a while. What you've been in the recent years? In the
No, I
2000s or
went
in
to
the oh.
Chicago when I was 18. I don't even wanna talk about it
Uh,
'cause it's gonna go viral. I can't talk about it.
but yeah, it would have been so like decade like the 90s then?
No, 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 no.
No, no, the 2000s. I was like, where? I'm like, where?
No, this would have been
No,
like
80s.
2000
Two, two,
and 12, 13. I don't know.
oh, okay. Girl, I'm like, I did not look up your age. I'm like, because Asian don't raisin. So I'm like, I
Asian
don't
don't
know.
raisin. Oh
Yeah, yeah,
god.
yeah. Yeah, so I
Uh,
left there. Yeah, I left Chicago in the 90s. But you enjoyed
okay.
the beautiful like the museum campus and yes, I left
Yes, yeah,
when it was still under construction.
I was only there for 2 weeks, but it was lovely. I really liked Chicago. Honestly, if there was a
Nice.
bigger entertainment, I know there's a great theater industry, but if there was a bigger
Yeah.
entertainment industry there, I would have
mhm,
happily moved there.
mm.
Yeah. So it's mostly like I think Dick Wolf has pretty much taken over
Wolf Productions.
Chicago.
There you go.
Good for
If you want
him.
to be in
What a
Law and Order,
Exactly.
well,
what a
actually, that's
beast.
a
What an incredible man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I
he's
mean,
built an empire.
yeah,
Yeah. And the funny thing is that he's somehow been able to not be an asshole in public. Like we don't really know a whole lot
I
about
don't know
Dick Wolf.
anything about Dick Wolf. I
Right?
don't know, but,
Smart
like,
guy. Smart guy.
brilliant, genius.
Yeah.
He's Sheridan before Sheridan. Like, he was pre-Sheridan.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. You well, speaking of giant franchises, I mean, let's go down the list. You've Game of Thrones,
Mm.
Star Wars, Marvel, Matrix. Like, what big IP are you interested in next? And I guess maybe just kind of the more interesting question is like, what draws you to specific roles? Because you clearly haven't avoided, like some actors are like, oh, I don't want to do big IP. That's never seemingly been a problem for you. But what draws you into roles, whether it's, you know, Colleen Wing or even the small cameo that you did in Star Wars,
Oh,
right? Like
and other than
they're all memorable.
yeah, and
Yeah.
other than scheduling.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna
Besides scheduling
say,
and money, right, Junko?
no, I was gonna say like, well, a couple
Reality.
things. First off, the bigger the franchise, the less money you're gonna get made. Like, so let's just like put that over
Mhm.
Hmm.
there.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
yeah, none of those jobs, were for money. None.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
um,
Mm.
I will say this: I think it's a privilege to be able to say, as an actor, I'm not gonna do IP. You have to understand, you know, growing up in the 90s in England, I never saw people who looked or sounded like me on TV. So for me, there was never a question of like, oh, I'm going to only do that. It was like, oh, I'm a working actor and I will take whatever crumbs are thrown my way. And for a long time, that is what I did.
Hmm.
Um, Not to say that I didn't love doing any of those franchises, but I think
It's a
there was
job.
well,
Yeah, you're gonna love
I'm
it.
so
Yeah.
grateful to work in those franchises. I love all those franchises. Oh god.
Eh, yeah, she keeps flipping out.
I love
Don't
those
worry about it.
franchises. I was a fan of each of those franchises before I started. See what is available to me as an Asian actor. I'm not getting offered a period drama. It's very hard for me to get in for a rom-com, but for some
Mm.
reason, genre has always been very willing to cast ethnic minorities.
Mm.
Uh,
Hmm.
Especially if there's some action there. As an Asian actress, like, they are totally down,
Mm.
to the point where I have had to, like, you've just listed all the franchise that I've said yes, but I've actually said no to a lot because it reached the stage where it was like, this is too much. Now I'm just playing
Mm.
an Asian action role. Like, I love this franchise, but I cannot take this role.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a mixture of I'm a fan of those projects, but also what is available to me. I
Yeah.
wanna work. I love working. I'm very driven and passionate about.
Uh, but good for you on saying no to some of the more stereotypical roles too, because we talk to actors at all stages of their career, and you know we know that that's not a choice that everybody has, or they don't have enough influence on the writing and production of how their character evolves, and they get stuck in those stereotypical roles.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I never want to be part of the problem.
Hmm.
Um, it's less so an issue now because I think there's so much more awareness, and we also have more Asian creators,
Mhm.
and that ripples into everything. More Asian writers, directors, producers. The
Mhm.
stories are just going to be more authentic. But yes, definitely at the beginning of my career, there was some heinous
Mm.
stuff that I read.
Hmm.
And on projects that I've been a part of, I've had to go, we need to remove the storyline. We need to remove that line. And like, I've had to fight hard, but
Mm.
it's getting better and better each year. I can't remember the last time I've
Yeah.
had to have a sort of an argument about that on a set.
Mm.
Mhm.
Do you find that it helps you or hurts you being somewhat like racially ambiguous, or you know you can kind of pass as, you know, full Asian, half Asian, not Asian?
Yeah, both. It definitely helped me a lot in the beginning of my career because it's more accessible and people are resistant to change and they like change in small doses. And I guess I'm like more
Mm.
palatable.
Mm.
Uh, it's now at the stage where people are getting so specific that I'm not Asian enough. And
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
I can get behind that, and other times I'm like, okay, but her
Yeah.
ethnicity has absolutely no
Yeah.
relevance to the story. So what is the? It's like you're just afraid of criticism, and that's why you're doing it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a as the times continue to change, so will that be a help or a hindrance? But I will never complain about it. Like, I have benefited just as much as
Mhm.
I've been blocked by it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think like your career really, just like thinking back, well, I've been in the industry for like 20 years, but like well, let's say like I like US audiences, I think we really got to know you in Iron Fist, but Well, how do you reflect on that transition between uh what we knew as like the regular TV and then streaming? Because you really got thrown into like you're like, here, Iron Fist. Like, and
Yeah.
looking back, how are you feeling the changes? Because we don't have a regular TV season, TV working schedule anymore. So
Mhm.
how are you handling that these days?
Yeah,
Does
I
it
mean,
feel
I
Doing
more
more,
think I
frenetic?
sounds like doing more film. In
Yeah,
yeah,
one way,
because
yeah.
yeah,
but
but
exactly
doing more
yeah. No, but really though, because the schedules can be so whacked out when it's a series. Um and yeah, like what kind of conversations like do you just have more to take into account when when you choose a project?
Yeah, it's definitely a big discussion. Like, I
Yeah.
feel really fortunate that I was a part of that early Netflix
Yeah.
push and
Yeah.
Mm,
really got to see it explode, or it was
Yeah.
exploding as I entered.
Mhm.
And I think what Netflix does, I continue to work with them to this day. I think that they just have their finger on the pulse and they get it.
mm,
Mhm.
I think traditional television media can just feel outdated in terms of the sort of format of the ad breaks and once a week.
Mhm.
Sometimes it works. Some shows aren't meant for that. What I love about streaming is, like, did you guys watch the OA?
yes.
Yes.
I watched the first season, I
Ah.
think. Yep.
Okay, so I remember watching the first
Mm.
episode, and normally with a TV series, you're gonna get a ad break at 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and the story is gonna, like, you're gonna have the cold open, and then you're gonna
Yeah.
have this line which will, like, take us through to that scene, and then you've got to have
Yeah.
a twist here at this moment. And I remember watching the pilot episode of the OA, which I think is like 70 minutes long, 70.
Mm.
And because they were given the freedom to
Yeah.
move outside of the limitations of television, it was so unpredictable because
Yeah.
your rhythm that you're used to as an audience member wasn't happening. And I remember going, they transitioned to Russia in that pilot episode. I remember
Yes.
my mind being blown because it's like at the 50-minute mark and you
Hmm.
just go, they've just changed location at the end. Like, what is this show?
Yeah.
I think it's incredible. And it makes
Yeah.
me sad actually to see streaming start to lapse back into
Ah.
traditional
Mm,
TV ad breaks, all of that. I understand the business side of it, but it's disappointing for me
Mm.
as as a
mm,
fan, as an audience member.
Mhm. Mhm.
And in terms of the decision of, does it factor into the signing up to a job?
Yeah.
Whether it's traditional or
Yeah.
streaming, it doesn't
Traditional
really
stream.
affect me
Mhm.
how I'm approaching the role or what is enticing to me.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm definitely very aware of the audience members. You look at
Mhm.
Netflix and the amount of subscribers they have far
Yeah.
outweigh
Yeah.
every other
everything. Yeah.
TV model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so that does factor into it a bit, but at the end of the day, I'm just looking for good stories, good
Yeah.
characters, no assholes.
Yeah.
That was a rule that I imposed a couple years ago. I'm not
Mm,
willing to work with any assholes
Oh,
anymore.
oh, just recently,
mm.
girl.
Yeah, probably about 5 years ago, I was like, okay, no more, no more.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
if we really wanted to go
Yeah.
viral, we could ask, like, well, so who was the asshole that triggered that? But then,
Jess's blacklist book.
I mean, uh,
Yeah, but I hear ya. I hear ya. Yep.
no,
Yep.
one of the things I want to ask you, well, actually say, is that you've been as lovely to talk to as I imagined, and part of that is because I feel like in your socials, especially maybe less recently, but before, I felt like I learned so much about you. 'Cause you're very earnest in your socials. We get to see, like, the gardening side of Jessica and the hiking side, like just
yeah.
normal person, and the geeky side of Jessica. Like, I'm curious how you manage now your social platforms and your persona, um, and how that's evolved over the years as you've become a bigger star.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's an ongoing struggle to chase authenticity because it's very nature. It's just so inauthentic these days. Um,
Hmm.
Everything is so filtered and everything is just so carefully
Yeah.
crafted and curated. I fall into that as well because it is a business. Social media is also a business. Like I have a responsibility to promote my things. And that is at the end of the day what audiences are connecting to. Why they follow me in the first place is to see what I'm working on. But
Yeah.
I have always tried to get some little grain of truth in there. So if that means, yeah, showing the reality of, yeah, the night after the premiere, I'm gonna walk my brother's dog and I have to pick up his shit, and like that's
Yeah.
what it is. And I have this big show coming out, but you know what's really exciting to me is getting out into nature. I love all of that because it is just like a breath of fresh air when I see other people doing it. It's important to me. But it's also I'm going through a bit of a weird thing right now where I don't really want to be on social media and I don't want to post at all
Yep.
because I think that we should all just get off our phones.
Sure.
Like you
Yeah.
like, you know, when your phone tells you this is how much screen time you had this week.
I turned that off.
Yes.
What? You turned it off? Yeah, because a part of me dies when I see that number. It makes
Yeah.
me so sad, and so I'm really trying to wean off it actually, and I'm trying to
And
replace it with books and
Yeah.
gardening and
Yeah.
walking and
But that's where like Gen Alpha and Gen Z are going. So if I'm taking a small business workshop class and we're talking about demographics and stuff, you can tell an Instagram. Well, first of all, Alpha, they aren't going to use Instagram. If they do, it'll be like five photos. They'll mostly focus on stories, but it's very blank. Alpha.
What's Alpha? What age?
Alpha.
How old?
I think they're in the up until
Up to 16, I
16,
think, right?
yeah.
Up to
Okay. They
Yeah,
shouldn't
so-
be on. They shouldn't be on.
It shouldn't be on
their phones
anyway.
anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a phone until I was 16.
because
Yeah.
they were born into the horrors of social media. So they're like, we
Yeah.
don't want.
I know.
So they're like, I want to knit. I want to buy vinyls. So
Great.
so
Great.
I
Do
think. I mean, this is 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in the next like 4 or 5 years, you know, they'll be over 20. You know, and they'll kind of be your new audiences. So hopefully, there will be the writers and the producers who answer to that generation, and you're gonna be like, oh, my role now. I need to learn how to knit. I am knitting in this show. Like, we need, you know, the writer's going to be like, oh, we need to get the alphas and the Gen Zers in.
Okay. Yeah.
There's hope.
I mean,
Right, because
there's hope
everything's
for us
cyclical,
all.
right? Right.
It
We
is
used
cyclical.
we used to have the 4-second vines, you know, and that went away, and then TikTok will replace everything. Will be replaced. It's all a cycle. So yeah. Don't worry. We'll come back to analog, I think.
I love analog any day. I say that as literally I'm wearing like an Apple Watch, but they sent it to me for Christmas, and it's getting me off my phone because I just look at it and then I just go, what's that notification? I'll look at it later.
You know what?
Yeah.
Whoever they sent it to me. Are you sure? Because they just like, let's make sure we have a GPS lock on Jess secretly.
Yeah, maybe they're tracking me. They could be listening to the press, but no, this is my you know when you're like a drug addict and they give you a weaker drug to wean you off?
Oh yeah.
This is weaning me off my phone.
I guess the benefits of Apple is they'll try to get you on one other device to wean you off the other device.
Yeah, pretty much. Yay! Well, anyway, I guess we could just start wrapping up. Ben, do you have any other?
I mean, I could talk to you for
I know,
hours, but I'm
forever.
sure we should let you go.
Yes.
But thank you so much for joining us. By the way, I think this is episode number 50 for us. So it's very exciting for us to have you as guest number 50 on our show.
Thank
so thank you for joining
That's
us.
awesome. Congrats. Amazing. Like so cool. So cool,
we're
guys.
and I think we're also just trying to archive as many people of like Asian heritage and just contributions to society. It doesn't have to even be in entertainment, right? But hoping that, you know, we'll just accumulate these and, you know, like a kid, you know, like a 12-year-old kid be like, who's Jess Blick? You know?
I feel like what did I say about being Asian? Did I give any nuggets of
You did. Actually, you did. We went into kind of as we talked about roles and the roles each. I think it was a very insightful part of the conversation. So don't worry, we got you. We got you.
With like mixed heritage and just the timing that you started your career.
Yeah.
I think I think the kids will learn something.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah.
We'll get some Asian out of you in this next question, though, right, Junko?
Yes, that's very true. And we'll have you back on your next thing anyway. Okay,
Silo.
so we always
We'll have her back for Silo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Yeah.
So we always wrap up our podcast or our guest interviews with this question. So we were called United by Rice. What is your favorite rice dish?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Your
it can also include
rice dish.
Yeah, rice noodles count as well. It could be your favorite dish right now, or
No,
like your
honestly,
entire
I'm gonna
life?
have to say like nasi lemak, like
Oh,
Malaysian breakfast, which is the
Oh.
rice itself is
yeah,
just
yeah, 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 yeah,
kind of a neutral vessel to put the other
yeah,
accoutrements on.
yeah.
Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I think yeah, that or my mom makes like a bomb fried rice, like
Mm.
shrimp fried rice,
Shrimp
like
fried rice.
Ooh.
shrimp
Is there a
fried
secret
rice.
sauce ingredient that, or is it just like mom's love and you're like,
I don't think it's very secret. It's oyster sauce.
okay.
Interesting. Interesting though. I've never tried that in my
The
fried
oyster,
rice. That
yeah.
I'm always
Oh,
like tons of garlic and butter, but I've never tried
oh, try
oyster
oyster
sauce.
sauce. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm,
Maybe that's more of a
yeah.
Southeast Asian thing to put in your rice, but
Does it replace the soy sauce 100% basically?
yes, yeah, we
Okay.
would
Ah,
put it in soy sauce. That's
Okay.
just too much. That's too much salt. That's too much sodium.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a
Ooh,
protein
that
that you
sounds
like?
good.
Because you like your mom's shrimp fried rice. For the
What
Malaysian dish,
protein do I
yeah, do you lean to with rice? Or it just
honestly,
depends.
no, I'm pretty fluid. Like
Yeah.
growing up, I loved any sort of seafood. I was a big
Mm.
shellfish head. Like,
Mm.
Mm.
give me like
Yes.
Singapore chili crab. Like,
Yes. Oh my
that's
God.
uh,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
king prawns, salmon, anything like that.
Mhm.
I think now as you get older, you gotta eat cleaner. So
Yeah.
my protein is pretty clean. Like I
Yeah.
like Hainanese chicken rice. Like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Mm.
healthy, so clean, great
Yeah.
protein. This is the funniest podcast question I've ever had. Um, yeah, I now lean towards quite simple dishes with
Mm.
without too much sauce.
Yep.
Um, so yeah,
Mm.
there you go. That is my final answer. Hainanese chicken.
Yes. Although I'm
You
like, "Oh,
can
it's
if you come on again though, you get an opportunity to revise your answer. So you
yes,
can
you can
think about
update."
it even longer.
Yeah.
I do like no, Hainanese chicken rice never dies. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does not.
that's for life. Also,
If
it's
Yeah.
you
so
ever
good if you're ill or it's
Yeah.
comforting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, great. If you ever come to San Francisco, there's one like really close to my house. I'd happily take you there. But thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
thank
us.
you.
Again, pleasure taking us through your journey, and we're very
No,
excited
thank
about
you guys.
how
That
to
was
make a
really interesting.
killing. Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you. Have a great one.